Still connecting, Dita.
YouTube channel is ready, Bu Intan.
Okay, Georgia, I sent an email to all of us about the link of the YouTube for the live streaming, but I don't know if I hope they read the email.
I received this email. I know that others also received it, so hopefully they will be able to join.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I received it and the link worked perfectly well.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully they will join us.
Hopefully. Yeah. You mentioned that Toby and Irwan will join us, but I think they are not here yet.
A problem now. So I see that Toby sent me a message that he cannot connect. Let me see. Yeah, I will help him.
Mm-hmm. Georgia, now it's already more than 3 o'clock, but I think it's up to you whether we want to start now or we will wait some of our colleagues.
I think we can start, Intan, and they can join throughout the session. That's fine. We can start.
Okay. Then let's start. Yeah, hello, good morning, Georgia, and good afternoon for all of us here in Indonesia. So my name is Intan Supraba, a faculty member at Universitas Gadjah Mada, who is involved in the Erasmus Plus Enhanced project, together with my colleagues Dr. Indra Perdana and Dr. Rais Alfiansyah. So enabling humanitarian attributes for nurturing community-based engineering, Enhance, is a 3-year collaborative project supported through the European Commission under the Erasmus Plus Key Action to Cooperation for Innovation and the exchange of good practices, capacity building in the field of higher education. The project investigates complex humanitarian issues from a wide range of disciplinary perspectives in order to develop balanced, intelligent, and synergistic solutions. This project is led by Professor Georgia Kremida of Warwick School of Engineering, and this project was awarded a funding around 999,000 euro from the European Commission. This Erasmus Plus Enhanced project involved partners from 5 countries. So University of Warwick from UK, as the leader. And then the other partners are University of West Attica in Greece, and 3 universities from Indonesia, Universitas Gadjah Mada, Institut Teknologi Bandung, and Universitas Brawijaya. And then 2 universities from Bangladesh, Bangladesh University of Engineering and Technology, University of Dhaka in Bangladesh, and then 2 universities from Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh City University of Transport, and Ho Chi Minh City University of Technology. So as a part of this program, on last June till August 2020, UGM in collaboration with ITB and UB organized collaborative student community service at 2 locations, Kokap and Siagan, which is located at Daerah Istimewa, Yogyakarta. So this program was followed by 69 students from UGM, ITB, and UB. One of the supervisor from ITB is Dr. Muhammad Abduh, while the supervisor from UB is Dr. Irnia Nurika. The student community service was conducted online, and this is the first time in history since UGM conducted student community service since 1971 that the student community service must be conducted in the online basis due to the coronavirus pandemic. So actually, there were 10 students from Warwick University was supposed to join in this program as well, but due to this pandemic, and then they canceled their participation. Yeah, we hope the student of Warwick can participate in this program in the near future. So for today, the student will present their program that they have been done during that community service. Hence, I would like to invite the first team from Siagan, Kinski Pramana, Reza Yustika, Arif Rahmadian, and Faris Eka to present their programs. So for Siagan team, the presentation time is 30 minutes and you may start from now. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mrs. Intan. Good morning and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kinski. I am from Universitas Gadjah Mada, and today my teammates and I would like to share a story about our community service in the past 6 months at Siagan. Siagan is a district located in Sleman, Yogyakarta, only 9 kilometers away from the downtown area. There are over 47,000 people living in this 26.62 kilometers area. This district is divided into 5 villages. And Margo Agung is one of 5 villages in the Siagan district. And there are over 10,000 people living in this 5.18 kilometers area. There are 2 main problems in Siagan district, and those problems are high poverty rates, which is around 16.3%, and pollution caused by the 75 tofu industries that exist in Margo Agung. Our community service agenda begin with observation. We visited the local government to discuss problem in Siagan. Picture on your left is actually taken during the visit. Then we visited one of the tofu production houses. There we knew that all of the 75 industries still use a traditional method in the production process. We also visited the wastewater treatment plant that was built by the government in 2017. From there, we knew that in the first 6 months, this facility actually produced biogas used by 2 nearby houses. Sadly, due to the lack of knowledge and comprehensive maintenance training, this facility is no longer producing biogas. Instead, it produced a very distinct smell. And now moving on to the students' agenda. As you can see on your left, students collected samples from the wastewater pool, then we took it into lab tests. The results showed that the value of chemical oxygen demand, or the COD, was relatively high, and the pH level was around 3.5, which means the water contains acid. This result indicated that the degradation bacteria is no longer alive, thus resulting in a non-working degradation process. Then on the second picture, as you can see, we look into the biogas installation inside the two nearby houses. We found out that the pressure gauge did not show any pressure at all. Moreover, there was water inside it. We also found a living creature inside the pressure gauge. We also visited the locals, as you can see on the third picture. From the visit, we finally knew that the non-functioning water treatment plant is the result of contamination from the domestic sewage. Locals often dump their domestic waste, which contain high level of detergent, into the wastewater treatment plant. Aside from the tofu industry, we also look into the social condition to find out more about what are the village potential. The picture on your right is actually taken during the field observation, and apparently there were a lot of fisheries and farms there. In order to know more about how to create a functional wastewater treatment in the tofu industry, we visited a more advanced tofu industry mentored by the Indonesian Institute of Science. From the visit, we learned that in order to make wastewater treatment functional, the facility shouldn't be contaminated by other substances. And after getting some information about the potential and the problem from the village, we discussed the solution with other team members. But due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the rest of discussion were conducted online. We discussed our program with the lecturer and discussed the plan weekly. Our online community service began by asking the community's point of view about some problems via WhatsApp group. Then the students will give their response about the problems based on the knowledge that they get from the class. To further the discussion, the students then give modules that have been prepared in a form of videos, posters, or even books. After that, the discussion happened between the students and the community. There, when the transfer of knowledge happened between the both parties. And all of this activity was being held 3 times a week around 6 p.m. So for the next part of this presentation, I would like to let my friend Reza, as the person in charge of this program, to explain further details. To Reza, the stage is yours.
Okay, thank you, Kinski. So next, I will present about our programs. But before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Reza, and I'm from Universitas Gadjah Mada. In this community service, we had a lot of programs that we have done, especially in environmental field. Our first program is Tofu Waste Biogas Reactor Design. This program is a follow-up action to the tofu waste problem in Microgrung village. We choose this personal bioreactor so that people can easily maintain their own bioreactor and get the benefit of it. This bioreactor design has a little bit different design from usual bioreactor. We use fixed bed bioreactor to improve the biogas yield. The fixed bed bioreactor is a proven bioreactor technology to process the industrial liquid waste with an efficiency of 80 until 90% and produce the biogas with methane content up to 66%. For the bed materials used in this fixed bed bioreactor, we choose bamboo that has been cut into small pieces. This bed is used as microbial attached media. The microbes will grow on the bamboo surface and create an active layer that degrades dissolved organic materials. We also add the design of our biogas reactor with a digital monitoring system. So the condition of this biogas reactor can be controlled through a smartphone anytime and anywhere. Next. To communicate our bioreactor program to the villagers, we also created a bioreactor design handbook, and those are the front and back covers of our handbook. This handbook contains the details of bioreactor design, the bioreactor making steps, the steps to do in order to maintain the bioreactor, the bill of quantity, the programming script for web monitoring system, and also the 3D design of the bioreactor. This way, if the tofu industry wants to build their own bioreactor, all they have to do is just open the handbook. Next. We also have other environmentally based programs. Those are environmental preservation education and utilization of household waste. In this program, we make posters about the utilization of household waste into various useful goods. The other one is a liquid organic fertilizer bioreactor assembly guide, where in this bioreactor fertilizer, we involve maggots as fertilizer making agents. Not only in the environmental aspect, we also focus on improving tofu industry, both on the production process, tofu product, and marketing aspect. Next. To increase the productivity in the tofu industry, we designed the automatic tofu filtering machines. With this machine, we hope the industrial tofu production process will be more effective and productivity will be increased. We also have the programs to improve the safety and health aspect in the production process. Those are hygiene and sanitation improvement in tofu production environment and occupational safety and health education. These programs are presented in the form of posters that will be attached in the tofu industrial workspace. On the product aspect, we also have some programs to improve the product quality. The first one, we make a video containing a variety of tofu product recipes. One of them is tofu steak. We also make a poster of food packaging guide, which also contains various food packaging creations. We also hold a webinar with a tofu entrepreneur who has successfully run his business. His name is Mr. Agung from tofu industry in Bantul area. This webinar is a media to share experience between tofu entrepreneurs. And for the marketing aspect, we make some tutorials in the form of video and posters. Those are the food distribution guide. During the COVID-19 pandemic period, the bookkeeping and financial management training, and e-commerce application for micro business. We hope these programs can help the tofu entrepreneurs to develop their own business. For the next part of the presentation, I will give the stage to Faris as the person in charge of the next program. Faris, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Reza. My name is Farsaka Sarifuddin from Brawijaya University. Now I would like to explain of our two programs of the student community activity. The first program is Master Plan of Microgrung Tourism Village, and the second one is Wastewater Treatment Plan. This is the purpose of our programs. The left side is about WWTP revitalization. Microgrung Village has a WWTP used to treat the industrial waste tofu. Unfortunately, the WWTP is located quite far from the settlement and only scope the waste of two closest houses. Besides, Microgrung Village residents also don't know how to treat it well, so it doesn't function optimally and isn't properly maintained. Therefore, it is necessary to repair it. On the right side is about Master Plan of Microgrung Tourism Village. It provides recommendations to the Microgrung Village government, which has great potential resources for rural tourism development. Microgrung Village has a natural and artificial potential, but it isn't well managed. After conducting a preliminary survey, we found several potencies that could be developed to support this master plan program. The potencies are Tito Agung Reservoir, Krapiak Tofu Industry, Historical Sites, and Jogja Star Garden. The first program is WWTP Revitalization. We designed wastewater treatment plant to be a gathering place for people in Microgrung Village. The building can be used as a presentation room, and it is equipped with a restroom and a pavilion located outside the building. Next, a place for recreation, relax, and sport. There are basketball court, tennis table, and hydroponics. The last one is public education facilities about the industrial waste treatment process. The left side, WWTP booklet. This purpose are to educate about type design and things related to WWTP, to inform about wastewater treatment process. On the right side is a WWTP handbook. Its purposes are to educate about existing problems in WWTP, to inform about the methods and solutions. Our next program is Master Plan of Microgrung Tourism Village. This is the analysis we used to create Microgrung Tourism Village concept, consisting of policy attraction, facility, linkage, institutional, and SWOT analysis. The result of SWOT analysis are used a development strategy for the Microgrung Tourism Village. And we will focus on improving tourism facilities and attraction, which include natural, historical, and educational tourism. Our master plan consists of several places. The first place is Microgrung Retention Basin. Our analysis results are attraction and supporting facilities and the need for additional identities that categorize the embung. On the left side is the existing condition of retention basin, which only has two attractions, namely embung, pure and fishing. The plan is to add attractions such as a rental paddle ducks and fishing competitions events held monthly. On the top right side is the existing condition of retention basin, not having yet a nameplate identifying the Tirto Agung embung. So it is necessary to add a landmark to support its beauty. The existing condition of the retention basin doesn't yet have a rest area that can be used to be as a rest or tourist shelter. Because there are plans to add paddle ducks, a gazebo is needed. Besides, it does not have a parking space. Therefore, a parking space will be added and souvenir center will also be added to facilitate tourists who want to buy souvenirs. The second place is Jogja Star Garden Tourism. Next slide. We did it. Back to left. Previous. Back to previous. Previous slide. Okay. We did an analysis that we found that the garden needs the landmarks to attract tourists. The existing condition has no landmark and it is a lack of the supporting facilities. We plan to add the landmarks and several supporting facilities such as photo spot, gazebo, ticket counter, and praying room. Next slide, please. The third place is Krapiak Tofu industry. Next slide. Tofu is a potential commodity in the Microgrung village. The tofu industry can be developed into the tourism. And this is a distribution map of the tofu industry. There are 49 Krapiak tofu home industries. As you can see, in this plan, we added some equipment to support the Krapiak tofu home industry. The last place is a heritage object and museum. We didn't analyze much because of the historical site. Because the manager of the historical site is a cultural heritage conservation hall, so we just integrate in the other tourist object. Next. This is the 3 route alternatives that visitors can choose when they visit Microgrung Tourism Village. This is a tourism map of a Microgrung village. There are 7 places consisting of entrance, Tirto Agung Retention Basin, Habib Ali Graveyard, Heritage Object and Museum, Jogja Star Garden, Tofu Industry, and WWTP. To support the running of this program, promotional activities are needed to attract tourists to Microgrung Village. And then for the next part of the presentation, I will give stage to Arif as a person in charge of the next program.
Thank you very much, Faris. First, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Arif Rahmadian Arifianto, and I am a student of Bandung Institute of Technology. Now, I will present to you the process we went through to produce our programs. Specifically, we will focus on the Wi-Fi repeater and internet usage education program. The first thing we have to do is to analyze the condition in Sayegan. One of the concerns that COVID-19 has brought to Sayegan is the closing of public facilities, such as schools and markets. The impact of this policy means that the community relies more heavily on internet connection. This is apparent with the school from home policy and the rise of e-commerce. On the other hand, Indonesia ranks only 91st in internet penetration percentage. Only 64% of Indonesians have access to reliable internet. This provides us with a real problem to solve. Thankfully, we noticed an opportunity that can help us resolve this situation. There is an existing public Wi-Fi system in the local government office that can be used. However, the range does not extend far enough for the public to be able to access it. The solution that we decided on is to extend the municipal Wi-Fi range so it can be accessed by the public. We used Lewin's change management model to implement the solution with 3 steps composed of unfreeze, change, and refreeze. With the unfreeze stage, we engaged in dialogue with the local government to make sure they recognize that there is a real problem that needs to be solved. We also made sure that they agreed to provide Wi-Fi access to the public. The local government responded to this idea positively and gave us the approval. They agreed to make an internet corner near the government office that the public can use. During the change process, we made the actual Wi-Fi repeater that will be used in the village of Margo Agung and Margo Mulyo and also Semansatu Seyegan. We will go over the production process in the following slide. Lastly, to refreeze the change that we implemented, we provided the public with educational materials on the internet usage, which includes keeping your data safe, social media etiquette, online learning materials, and the danger of game addiction. We wanted to avoid the public, especially students, misusing this facility. The workflow that we used was as follows. First is the design process, in which we decided on the specification of the product, the tools and techniques that we will use to make the product, and also the production process. We decided to break down the process between 2 teams. The team in Bandung will take care of the electronics and software, while the team in Yogyakarta will handle the casing and the delivery of the product. For the electronics, we used a Wemos D1 Mini with LED indicators, which are assembled on a PCB-proof board. We chose the Wemos because it is quite small, but also have a great antenna to maximize the Wi-Fi range. The first picture is the initial testing process, and the lower picture is the assembled electronics. For the software side, we used an Arduino library with a few open source contents which can be found in GitHub. We redesigned the landing page to the Indonesian language, so it will be more accessible to the user. When we sent the product over to the Yogyakarta team, the product is fully functional. All that is left is the casing. The team in Yogyakarta designed a hard casing out of acrylic, which protects the product from exterior forces. They also designed the sticker, which contains the logo and also the instructions on how to operate the Wi-Fi repeater. Lastly, we sent the product along with the educational material to Seyegan government, and they delivered it to the final destination. In total, we sent 4 Wi-Fi repeaters to the following sites: Village of Margo Agung, Village of Margo Mulyo, and Seyegan High School. So, in conclusion, our product can achieve up to 4 simultaneous connections. It can be bumped up to 10, but it will sacrifice the quality of service, meaning that the internet speed will be much lower. Under line of sight conditions, the range of the product can reach up to 50 meters. We did testing indoors and found that for every centimeter of concrete wall, the signal strength decreases by 1 decibel. The product is also easily reproducible. We sent the code and instructions to the government in Seyegan so that they are able to produce more of this tool if they need it. This is the rest of our community project output. As you can see, we made a lot of reading materials covering a wide variety of subjects, including agriculture, tourism master plan, education, and basic graphic design. Not only sharing the information through social media, we also printed out books for the locals. As you can see on the picture, there are 18 books in total. We sent all of this book to the community as the sustainable aspect of our program. These books consist of environment, productivity, economic, and health education. We sent all of the output of our programs to the government in Seyegan. In the picture, you can see the team handing over the output and having a final meeting with the government officials. This marks the end of our community service project. We've learned so much, both from the people of Seyegan and also from the research that we did to produce our projects. That is all from the Seyegan team. I would like to thank everybody for listening to our presentation. Hopefully, we can all learn something from this experience. I would like to return the stage to Mrs. Intan. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Arif. So thank you for all of the presenters from the Seyegan team for the presentation. So now we will move to the COCAP team, which will be represented by Rizky Ramadan, Dimas Faisal, Wilda Octavia, Asar Hakim, and Ulfah Fadilah. So for COCAP team, the presentation time is 30 minutes, and you may start from now. Thank you.
Thank you, dearest moderator. Hello, everyone. Let me briefly introduce myself. My name is Wilda Octavia, student of Bandung Institute of Technology. I'm delighted to be here today to talk to you about the student community service in COCAP. The purpose of this presentation is to explain the programs we had done to participate in Enhanced project. The presentation mainly consists of the overview and the programs with each of its background, analysis, and the products. If you have any question, please don't hesitate to ask us in the end of the presentation or at the given time. Now I'd like to give you a brief breakdown or an overview of the project. Let me start with some general information about the location. Has been held in Kulon Progo Regency, special region of Yogyakarta. For your information, Yogyakarta is known for the gorgeous landscape and also a well-known landmark such as Prambanan Temple. So, this area, as shown in the map, estimated up to 73 kilometers and inhabited by almost 37,000 population, distributed in 5 villages, including Hargotirto and Hargowilis village, the two main recipients of the student community's profit. Next slide, please. The most prominent thing about these two villages is the existence of Waduk Sarmo, as shown on the picture, a reservoir that is used as the main water source for daily water needs and irrigation. This is due to the fact that the majority of local residents work as farmers for both dry and wet fields. Here is a quick recap of the main points of this section, the existing condition of the villages. I'll start with Hargowilis. This village is mostly concerned about Waduk Sarmo, the water reservoir. I think everybody and the local people have heard about water quality, but hardly they know a lot about it. The physical, chemical, and biological condition of the Sarmo reservoir experience undesirable condition, with the presence of the alga bloom as an indicator of high microbial activities, which can endanger aquatic life and its water quality. Second, with its beauty, this reservoir was once proposed as a tourism sector with a lot of potential, and so does with many other tourism attractions there. This is a great place for camping, family picnic, or even for a worthy Instagrammable photo, and etc. Sadly, the real condition right now, it ends up with fewer and fewer visitors. Another significant point is that in the past, this village had a traumatic malaria outbreak, and up to now, a few cases still exist seasonally. They also facing some general health problems that really need our care. Next slide, please. Turning our attention now to Hargotirto village, actually quite similar to the previous one. Water management, trash management with the absence of permanent waste treatment installation, and alga bloom in Sarmo reservoir will likely be the spotlight. Next slide, please. In general, I hope this explains the situation for you. Now we continue with the elephant in the room. The COVID-19 pandemic in Indonesia is part of the ongoing worldwide pandemic. It was confirmed to have spread in Indonesia in March 2020, long before this project began, but it affects many aspects of the process we've been through. Weighing the pros and cons, the team come to the conclusion that we need this project to keep going, and that was exactly what we did. Of course, with full respect to the World Health Organization and Indonesia government and the university policy and mandatory, we adapt by not sending the student right to the location. Combining the synchronous and asynchronous communication method for everybody, preferring output-based programs rather than impact-based, and sending the products indirectly to courier or online by social media. So now here we are, creating the student community of our KKN from home for the very first time. Next slide. Throughout the community service period, we have done 47 theme-related programs and about 29 non-theme related programs. Not to mention, there are several products that we have produced, such as total 23 booklet and pocket guide, 23 leaflets, brochure and posters, 8 master plans, as well as 4 maps. You can access all of our products through the link below. And here are some of our products that have produced regarding tourism and environment. And next slide, our products related to agriculture and livestock. This leads us to the next point, which is the program's detail that will be elaborated by my friend. Please welcome Rizky Ramadan Praetno. Rizky.
Well, thank you, Octav. My name is Rizky Ramadan Praetno, a student from Universitas Gadjah Mada. Actually, we have implemented more than 70 programs in this student service, but I would like to present to you some of our best programs which are here. Our first program is to develop a booklet regarding waste management, entitled Mulai Kelola Sampah dari Rumah, or Starting Our Waste Management from Home. In this book, we would like to unravel the waste problems in Indonesia, and we truly believe a little action in our home could resonate with a major impact to solve waste problems. Before knowing the actual problems in Indonesia, we would like to give you a perspective that waste management problems are not only happening in Indonesia, but also in the majority of countries in Southeast Asia. From the graph, we could see that only Brunei and Singapore have properly managed their plastic waste. However, the percentage of mismanaged plastic waste in other countries in Southeast Asia range from 55 to 87%. Well, let's take a look at Indonesia and how waste management still becomes a large homework for us. Based on a research conducted by Jambek, Indonesia is the world's second worst marine plastic polluters for allowing about 1.29 million tons of plastic waste to enter the ocean in 2010. On the other hand, diverse green actions also research how much Indonesians use plastic straws. In a day, all of the straws used by Indonesians are equal to the distance between Jakarta and Mexico City. For each week, the straws are equivalent to 3 times of Earth's circumference. While for each month, straws are as long as 5 times of Indonesian coastline. Hereby, we undoubtedly need immediate actions to slow down this rate of waste generations. And next, furthermore, 4 out of the top 20 polluting rivers are located in Indonesia. Those are Brantas, Solo, Serayu, and Progo rivers. We could also see how polluted the rivers on the right side of these slides. On the other hand, when we observe our waste data, Indonesia also faces the problem of mismatching between our waste generations and waste management. While 67% of waste produced in Kulon Progo Regency is plastic waste, but 69% of waste is managed by burning. We all know the best way to manage organic waste is through composting, not by burning it. As has been noted, at least there are 4 major challenges that we have to face. The first one is waste generations. The second one is mismatching between waste generations and management. The third one is people's behavior. And the last but not least, linear waste management, which then drive us to create this booklet, Mulai Kelola Sampah dari Rumah. In this booklet, there are 4 topics that we cover. The first one is an overview of waste management in Indonesia, which I've explained before. The second chapter will explain regarding the paradigm shift from waste management to resource recovery. The third one will remind the habits of implementing 5R: reduce, reuse, recycle, recover, and refuse at home. And the last but not least, composting, because the major components of waste in Indonesia are organic. We aim to promote the paradigm shift to prevent waste generations in the community. Based on this waste management hierarchy, the prevention actions are more preferred rather than the waste management. If we could prevent people from generating waste, we could have lighter loads to manage our waste. Moreover, we would like to highlight the difference between linear and circular waste management. If the linear system presumes waste as a non-useful material, waste in the circular system is presumed as a valuable material that can be used again for another industry. And that's what we call resource recovery. One of the key solutions mentioned in this book is through the implementation of 5R, which can be easily done at home by ourselves and our family. For example, we have to adapt to be accustomed to using a tote bag instead of a plastic bag, or using a food container instead of styrofoam. And not to mention, it also applies to another 4 Rs. And last but not least, we also provide an easy step-by-step guide to compose organic waste. By doing composting, we could recover this waste into other useful materials, which are organic fertilizers can be used in the agricultural sectors. And the next presentation will be done by Dimas Faisal Darmawan. I will leave it to you, Dimas.
Well then, thank you for your opportunity, Rizky. I really appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dimas Faisal Darmawan, and I'm from University of Gajah Mada. I would like to present to you one of our outputs that involves a manufacturing process, which is pyrolysis prototype. Actually, I would say that this is kind of different because many of other people's outputs were principal projects such as booklet and master plan. However, we decided to create a prototype instead, and fortunately, we managed to finish it on time. The production process was held in Bandung, and it took only less than a week to finish the prototype. This prototype was surprisingly easy to build because the materials needed to build the prototype were available in such local building material stores and or using the recycled container. But the most important thing is how this machine could resolve the urgent issue, which was the buildup of plastic waste in the community. As we have recently explained the waste problem by Rizky, we know that an unmanaged disposal of waste, especially plastics, could lead to a long-term problem. It is because it takes 100 of years to dissolve plastic using microbial decomposition. We asked the community to see whether plastic waste had become a concern or not, and the answer, yes, it has. The reality is, in some places in the community, plastic has accumulated into a big pile of rubbish. And seeing that, we offer a solution that can minimize the pile of plastic, which is a pyrolysis technique. In general, the pyrolysis method was basically just burning the plastic waste, but in a closed system. So we isolated the system and with the absence of the oxygen. In this treatment, the material is exposed to high temperature and the absence of oxygen and goes through a chemical and physical separation into different molecules. At the end of the day, the product of this process was a low quality oil that can be used for generator sets. Here's how it works. First of all, we collect a large amount of plastic, and I would like to suggest that plastic shouldn't be in the wet condition because there will be a water present in the end product in the oil, which was not good. Then secondly, the container, close the container completely, isolate it in order to create a closed system with no pressure loss and the absence of the oxygen. Start to heat up the container with a high temperature of fire, and this will eventually create steam, which will be cooled down into the cooling container in the picture number 3. Lastly, we collect the oil in a liquid phase, and after it has cooled down. And in order to have a much clearer oil, a yellow colored nice oil, we could repeat the process by cooking the first output oil to the small container beside the cooling container in the picture number 4. And then the steam will be repeated back to the cooling container and turn again into a liquid phase. And by this time, the second stage oil result had a crystal clear color, which indicated a higher quality oil than the previous first one that is shown in the picture. In brief, this machine is able to solve a plastic pile problem, and the end product of the pyrolysis method can be used for generator, and the other end products such as the residue carbon can be recycled to be a briquette. And here's the SWOT analysis we can see here, but the most important thing is the threat analysis. It is because we thought that our prototype is still producing the carbon output to the atmosphere compared to the other competitor, which is an incinerator method, that can be designed to have a carbon capture system. However, incinerator is an expensive, huge project, so pyrolysis is still an option because it's practicality. And here's the instruction paper poster. We can see here's the instruction on how to use the prototype. The left side on the screen your screen was the explanation of pyrolysis and the end product of pyrolysis method. And the right side was the instruction of the plastic that can be, which one can be burned and which was not. And lastly, this was the combination of us in studio in Bandung doing some hard labor stuff. But for me, it was really worth experience for myself, like a non-mechanical engineering background, doing something new for me. And next program we would like to share is still about an environmental issue. It's a bioswale design. Bioswale is actually a system using a vegetated ditches which allow for the collection, conveyance, filtration, and infiltration of storm water. The purpose of the system is mainly to prevent the algae bloom because its capacity to absorb the nitrogen and phosphate, which are our concerns here, because those two substances, if exceed the normal composition, would lead to greenish water, or we can say an algae bloom. We care about the algae bloom because it links to the health implications. If people of the community were accidentally drinking or consuming this contaminated water, it could have an toxic effect to the body and might perhaps lead to the death. Not only that, algae bloom is also disrupting the natural habitat and threatening the balance of the ecosystem. Thus, we think we could offer another solution by providing some filter so the water that we have will be safe and have a higher quality. I will explain the filters in the next slide. The filter in the bioswale are the first filter. It's a what we call bioretention plant. The plants used for retention are local plants. The plant is selected by the effectiveness of absorbing the nutrients from the fertilizer, such as phosphate and nitrogen again. Alternative way to test every plant effectiveness is by planting the different plants in each bioswale. Before we conduct making the bioswale design, we should run the test for the water to checking the N and P level by taking the water sample and testing in the lab. Then, after the construction of the bioswale, we can do sampling again to compare the before and after water quality, and we can see which plant that could absorb those two substances, which means the nitrogen and the phosphate, is which plant that most absorb in the most effective way. The third layer is mulch. Mulch is used to take the water moisture and make the plants grow well. Mulch, as the second filter, is the thinnest layer. Mulch layer can use either a permanent or temporary layer. There are mulch that are made from plastic and also from the organic. And the last layer is gravel. Gravel is a base layer before the runoff water that goes into the pipeline. Gravel slows the runoff down, so the nutrients that haven't been absorbed in the first layer can be held up in this last layer. And how bioswale works? Excessive fertilizer will make it not fully absorbed by the plant and settle on the surface. So when the rain comes, water will carry the remaining fertilizer to reservoir. The bioswale building will be built parallel to the reservoir water line, and so that rainwater will be retained in the bioswale building. With a multi-layer filtration system, the water that comes out from the bioswale system is expected to be a better quality and not causing pollution when it enters the reservoir. And the bioswale design is using the selection of concepts design, layer, and location, and considering the locations also is the result of the discussions, calculation of data and parameters, and also reviewing some several journal references. The image on the left of your screen is a two-dimensional cross-sectional design. We made the design using an AutoCAD software, while the image in the right of your screen is a cross-sectional design of the three-dimensional plane with SketchUp software. And I would like to handle the next session to our fellow friends, Oscar and Ulfa from Universitas Brawijaya, and the stage is yours. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dimas. Good afternoon, everyone. Before we start the presentation, we would like to introduce ourselves. My name is El Ashar Hakim, and my friend here, Ulfa Fadilah. We are from Brawijaya University. In this opportunity, we will be presenting and explaining briefly our programs about developing local tourism and education for local residents. Okay, next. Goals for each program. The first program is to provide recommendation which rural areas have great potential resources for development of rural tourism. The second program is to provide recommendation on improving the regional economy through rural tourism planning. And the third program is to provide information about universities that could motivate the teenagers to reach higher level of education. Next. This urgency of the Rural Tourism Master Plan program is because decreasing number of visitors in some of tourism destinations. For instance, at Kalibiru and Pule Payung, you can see the graphic in your left. The absence of integration and less participation in the development of tourist destination. Okay, next. The first location is Hargowilis village in Kokap, Kulon Progo. Hargowilis have many kinds of tourist destinations including Sermo Preserve, Canting Mas Dipowono, Cendana Hill, Puncak Sewunut, Sermo Tourist Village, and Kalibiru. Every destination can attract a lot of visitors every year and have different kinds of activities that tourists may experience. Those are several pictures of tourist destinations in Hargowilis. Okay, next. The second location is Hargotirto village, Kokap, Kulon Progo. Hargotirto is known for having many tourist attractions that have the potential to be developed. We made a result by providing a tourism master plan that contains tourism destinations in Hargotirto, including Pule Payung, Gunung Ijo, Segaji Education and Life Inn, and also Gonotirto site. Pule Payung has won API award in 2019. Our plan is to develop each destination using several analyses. Okay, and this is the result of our work, which is a rural tourism master plan for each village. The master plan analyzed every tourist attraction, so we could make some recommendation on how to improve development tourism and the regional economy. Okay, the process on how to make rural tourism planning, we are using several analyses, such as supply analysis, institutional analysis, and SWOT analysis. Supply analysis is about analyzing each tourist component for every tourist destination. Supply analysis needed to be able to find out the shortcomings of the existing potential. In addition to tourist attraction and accessibility, tourists also look for amenities that support the trip. To fulfill the trip, various facilities are needed. Tourist attraction may entice tourists to a destination, but the tourists also need facilities such as hotels or homestay and etc. Tourism is one of the key industries in the nation's economy and the economy of the local community. Economic tourism is very beneficial for the community if it is supported by the quality of the unique tourism attraction, a good environment, friendly accessibility, a friendly society, and also a cultural potential. Rural tourism has two main points. The first one is plan for attraction, amenities, accessibility, and promotion. This plan talks about how to increase tourist visitor by improving the tourist attraction, quality of amenities, good accessibility, and right strategy promotion. For attraction, the team recommended adding innovative attraction and tour packages. Amenities are very important to develop because amenities are a part of the service support system in the tourism area. Besides that, improving poor accessibility and promotion method also described as a solution for tourism development. And the second one is plan for tourism community. The second Previous slide, please. Okay. The second one is about plans for tourism community. The second plan explains how important the tourism community role is for tourism development. Tourism development cannot be implemented if the relationship between each stakeholders is not going well. Tourism communities can be involved in decision making and managing tourist activities. Okay, next. This is an example of the design of the amenities that we made to develop rural tourism. We recommended the establishment of the jet ski dock. So this facility is not like any destination and different from from the other destination. Okay, the next slide will be presented by Ulfa Fadila.
Thank you, Asar, for the opportunity. This slide is another amenities. We recommend souvenir shop that could sell a variety of local products that were made by the local community. The souvenir shop can increase economic development. This picture is one of the example of tourism amenities. Signage is the last tourism amenities that we initiate. We recommend adding several signage that could help tourists navigate their destination, also encourage tourists to explore their surrounding area with interactive information. Next, please. Brochure. We also recommend brochure promoting every tourist destination. Brochure also includes information about tourist activities that tourists would experience. The quality of human resources needs to be considered as supporting tourism activities. Human potential development and on this basic weighted strategic management become key problem of the modern economy, which is characterized by the emergence of many opportunities and threats. The next one, on the social aspect, there are two our initiation programs, which is socialization of college and education English for all. We believe that education has many advantages for people. As a matter of fact, in both villages, there are several local students does not have the opportunity or even courage to continue their education into higher level. Therefore, we initiate socialization of college. The output of this program is magazine form. We also have met a meeting with high school students in Sayagan district through Google Meet. The outcome of the program is to encourage local students to reach higher level education. Next, please. And the last, the role of language is important. Thus, our last initiation program is Education English for All. The purpose of the program is to increasing the motivation of learning English. We made a short video as we try to explain how to learn English in an easy way. Moreover, as we all know that one of the village is a local tourism, the local community can learn from this video. It would be beneficial to the local community if they can understand and speak English. In conclusion, our main purpose of the program is to develop social and economic aspects in both villages, including our two main programs, which Rural Tourism Master Plan and Socialization of Education. That's all for the presentation. Thank you for your time and attention. The next agenda will be given to Mrs. Intan Supraba as the moderator.
Okay, thank you, Ulfa, and to all of the presenters from the COCAP team. So that is the end of the presentation. And now is the time for the question and answer session. So anyone who would like to ask a question, please kindly mention your name and your affiliation. Thank you. Georgia, maybe you want to start to ask question?
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you so much, everyone. Fantastic presentations, excellent slides. The content of the work that you have delivered is really, really interesting. I was really impressed. So warm congratulations to everyone, your academics and yourselves. Fantastic work. I'm really, really impressed. I would like to make a question in general, and probably as many of the people who have presented, of the students who presented, could answer that question. Because that work is really for the benefit of the projects that you have done are for the benefit of the communities, how did you see the communities being engaged to the work that you have done. So how really the outcomes of your projects have reached the communities? Were they involved at any part during your projects? How did they receive the outcomes of your work? So that's my first question, I think.
Okay, thank you, Georgia. So one by one. So for the first question, okay, from the students, anyone want to start to answer the question? Jadi untuk pertanyaan yang pertama, saya persilahkan siapa kalau udah mau menjawab ya. Jadi pertanyaannya itu bagaimana program kalian itu sudah bisa menunjukkan ada engagement dengan warga setempat gitu ya. Interaksi kalian dengan warga setempat yang seperti apa, terus bagaimana outcome-nya kalian itu memberikan manfaat bagi masyarakat gitu ya. Siapa yang mau menjawab duluan? Nanti saya sebutkan namanya. Ayo, siapa yang mau jawab? Kinski? Okay, so Kinski will answer the question. Okay, please, Kinski.
So the way how we know that the locals give some inputs about the problems via WhatsApp group. Maybe Arif, maybe you can present my presentation. Arif?
I think Rahadian has the presentation, I'm sorry.
On slide number 8. Okay. So the way we work in this community service is actually at first we make a WhatsApp group with the locals, and then we begin to ask their point of view about the problems, and then after that we give our response about the problem based on our knowledge. For example, about the wastewater treatment plant, we asked them about what is the problem and how they think to solve the problem, and then after that we give our response about what is the best to solve that problem, and then we also give some modules that have been prepared in the form of videos, poster, even books, and then after that we also did a further discussion, and for the output like posters and videos, we post it on the social media, but for the books, we send it to the village so that the locals, if they need something, they just need to open the books. Thank you.
So please, Georgia, you may respond to the answer if you still want to ask further question.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kinski. That was really useful to know. So, and how do you see the government being engaged to what you're doing in your projects? So how is the government going to use further the deliverables of your projects?
Ya, Kinski, silakan dijelaskan ya.
So the government actually really helping us with gathering some data, especially since the COVID-19, we cannot even go to the village. So the government help us in designing the solution. And then after that, for the book, like, for example, the wastewater, the bioreactor program, we send the books to the government in hope that someday, maybe if they want to fix what is wrong with the current wastewater plant, they can use our recommendation instead. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
I would like to
please.
add something explaining our project too in COCAP regarding the question before.
Yeah, please.
So I would like to explain the same method that been implemented by Kinski in Sayagan in Microgrung village. We also implemented in Hargo Tirto in COCAP, that we make a WhatsApp group for the people, and we ask personally to the person in charge, the government, local government, regarding the problematic issue that been currently exists in the village, and we provide our solution, which is a pyrolysis method, our pyrolysis machine. And after we send our machine to the village, and we also demonstrate our pyrolysis method in the village with coronavirus protocol. I have messaged the local people again to see if any feedback was given, positive or negative, and they say they satisfy our solution, our pyrolysis method. And I think that was really a good impact, I think. And however, I think because we have some homework that because during this pandemic, we are really seldom to go out and to go the location, and we don't know if the local community are holding the pyrolysis again. But I think after the pandemic, we are trying to reach our local community to use the pyrolysis machine, our pyrolysis machine, in order to have sustainability in our program. I think that is all. And the local government is very, very supporting us. That
is a very nice answer. Thank you so much for making this addition, because it is really related to the sustainability of your projects. I totally agree with you. And that was my next question, but you answered it already. So fantastic. Perfect. And I just want to ask a last question, because I want to leave others also to make questions to yourselves. Can you please tell me, and this is open to every student, what are the skills that you believe you have developed by doing these community service programs that you didn't have before? What have these programs really added to your skills or your knowledge or your behavior as an engineer, as a person who will graduate soon?
Thank you, Georgia, for the nice question. Oke, jadi untuk semua mahasiswa ya, jadi maksudnya dia dengan kalian itu melakukan KKN ini, gitu ya, itu kalian tuh merasa menambahkan apa? Kalian mendapatkan tambahan skill, gitu ya, kemampuan, kemudian pengetahuan apa gitu yang kalian dapatkan dengan mengikuti KKN ini, gitu ya, yang tidak kalian dapatkan, gitu ya, sebelum menjalani KKN ini. Siapa yang mau jawab? Ada yang mau jawab? Siapa yang pertama? Nanti yang
Bu Intan.
Arif. Oke. Okay, so Arif will answer the question. Please Arif.
Yeah, let me reintroduce myself. My name is Arif. Thank you, Mrs. Georgia, for the question. So for me personally, I found that there are two types of skill which I learned during this KKN kolaborasi. First, I learned a lot of engineering hard skills, especially in my I'm a telecommunications engineering major, and I learned a lot about field testing. I learned a lot about soldering, and also I helped Dimas with the pyrolysis. So I also learned skills which I naturally would not have learned, like welding and other hard engineering skills. Other than that, I also learned that I am quite lacking in my soft skills, and this activity has allowed me to learn a lot about socializing with the government, socializing with the people of Sayagan, and also socializing with the people from my university, and also Universitas Gajah Mada and also Universitas Brawijaya, because it takes a lot of soft skills to be able to manage and coordinate people from different backgrounds. So those are some of the things I learned, and I think it will be very useful later on when I inshallah graduate.
Yeah, so that is what Arif feel by doing this collaborative student community service, and then he obtained the hard engineering skill and also mainly the soft skill. So that's good for you, Arif. So maybe the other students want to give explanation also. Yeah, you can explain to Professor Georgia. Yeah, what you get. Yeah, from the student community service. Who wants to answer the question?
Excuse me, Miss.
Okay, Kinski, yeah, please.
I will like to answer. What I learned from this community service is actually communication skill. Since due to the pandemic, we cannot go to the village, so the communication was done through WhatsApp and through Google Meets like this. From there, I learned how to communicate better in a form of text, because it's not something that I can learn easily on a class. And also, I learned that not all the theory that I learned from the class can be implemented to the real life problem. I think that's two things that I learned a lot through this program. Thank you.
Anyone else who want to give the answer?
Maybe me.
Asar? Okay.
Okay. Thank you for your for the time. Maybe for me, I will give some short answer. From what I learned in this humanitarian service, I learned a lot about the teamwork, the collaboration from UGM, ITB, and UB, and furthermore, I could recognize my other friend from another university. So the true meaning this agenda, this collaboration is important. The true meaning of teamwork. That's what I learned. Thank you, Miss Intan.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Asar. So you can learn about the teamwork, yeah, through this collaborative student community service, yeah, among UGM-ITB and UB. Yeah, maybe you want to give comments, Georgia, about the student answer?
That is fantastic, and I think the answers were all well spotted because it is exactly that combination of technical core skills that what we are looking for here, and also the soft skills like the communication skills, the team working skills, the empathy that it might be creating to our students by having this closer contact with the communities and the real life problems that they are facing. So I'm really, really happy for the answers that we have received. And if I were to ask a little bit further to that question, now that you have gained these skills or you have started developing these skills as well, what would you do different if you were to run the same projects again or projects at bigger scale? Would you change anything now that you know more things and you have more skills?
Ya, silakan. Siapa yang mau menjawab? Siapa yang mau mulai menjawab? Jadi kalian sudah mendapatkan tadi ya, jadi tambahan apa skill, kemudian apa pengetahuan gitu ya, dengan melakukan KKN ini. Nah, kemudian kalau nanti kalian harus melakukan baik itu proyek yang sama, ataupun mungkin dalam skala yang lebih besar gitu. Ada nggak hal yang akan kalian lakukan secara berbeda karena kalian tuh sudah mendapatkan tambahan skill dan knowledge gitu ya. Nah, jadi ketika kalian harus melakukan lagi gitu ya proyek yang sama atau proyek yang dalam skala lebih besar, ada nggak perubahan gitu? Yang dari yang akan kalian lakukan gitu ya. Ada yang mau jawab? Ayo silakan. Oktav mau jawab nggak? Oktav, Arif?
I will try.
Okay, so Octav will answer the question.
So I'm Octavia, thank you for the question. I find it very fascinating to be in this team. We've been through a lot of difficult time, happy time, and a lot of lesson to learn. So actually, in my case, this is the first time of social act that I do along my university time. So I think it is a wonderful experience, and also it built something inside myself that I want to do more. For some case, actually, my university also has the same project. We call it KKM, the Student Community Service. And my friends from another discipline asked me to share how we did the project. And actually, a simple act of sharing the way we did the project helped them a lot, as they say, for a feedback. And I think in the future, I would like to join another student community service and build more wonderful and impactful project for the people in my country, especially for the less appreciated people that live in a pure condition, and try not to see them as the problem, but trying to hold their hand and get through together. I think. Sorry for my bad English.
Your English is perfect. Thank you very much. Fantastic English. Excellent. You can understand that my English is not the strongest either. So excellent English. And thank you very much for your response, Oktay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Maybe anyone else wants to give the answer also?
I think, can I?
Yeah, Dimas.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot to introduce myself first, but I'm Dimas Faisal, Miss Georgia. Thank you. Nice to meet you. And I would like to answer if I have given a chance to conducting this project, the same project in the near future, or a bigger one. I think I would like to add some more it's hard to say in English, but it's kind of an agreement or an with more government or social community, such as environmental community like Greenpeace or such local community that acting in environmental prototype, which supporting kind of making environmental prototypes such as pyrolysis, and then making some agreement with another research institution in order to have more basic research in water quality in Waduk Sermo especially, and had another agreement with another university also, with not just only 3 university, but more university in Indonesia, also the abroad university. I think that is I wanted to answer.
Okay, thank you, Dimas. Yeah, so after you experience the past student community service, so you think in the future, if you have to do the same project or even at the bigger scale, so you think that you need to have agreement and collaboration with more institution like the environmental agency, Greenpeace, or the other environmental agency, and also more universities. Yeah, so he thinks about collaboration with more institution. Yeah. Is there any more student who wants to give the answer?
Miss, can I answer that?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Thank you for the question. My name is Mardisowo Sarwadamana. I cannot be sure that if I can participate in the next similar activity, but with my background as a planner of urban and regional planning department, I will use the abilities that I have gained in this activity, where my work will be related to planning and decision making for my cities, for my region, and also for my country. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sobawa. Yeah, okay, Georgia. Maybe you still want to ask more question. Please feel free to ask questions.
No, I'm fine for the time being. I would like some others to make some more questions. And probably at the end, I might return with some more. So, but for the time being, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. I'm really, really impressed. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Georgia. So, is there someone else who want to ask a question to our presenters?
Bu Intan, can I
Yeah,
ask something?
Mr. Krishna, Prof. Krishna, please.
Hi, Georgia, how are you? Nice to meeting you.
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you very much for organizing this session. It is fantastic. Thank you.
Yes, my question is actually a follow-up from Georgia's questions. Just one questions, but I have another suggestions after that. My question is more or less similar, but I want to move further. Would like to know if students, the participants of this program, learn something from the community, So, as an example, what do you learn from your interaction with the community? What new knowledge you get by communicating with the community, or do it only through virtual communications? But I am sure that there must be something that you learn, you get new knowledge from the community. Maybe someone can answer.
Thank you, Prof. Krishna, for your question. So, ya, jadi pertanyaannya Pak Krishna ya. Kalian tuh sudah berinteraksi dengan warga, walaupun mayoritas kan secara daring gitu ya, menggunakan WhatsApp gitu. Jadi apa yang bisa yang kalian pelajari gitu ya, yang kalian dapatkan gitu, yang kalian pelajari dari interaksi dengan warga itu, dengan warga setempat itu. Siapa yang mau menjawab? Ada yang?
I would like to
Kinski. Okay.
So what we learn actually is that if we want to solve some problems in the community, we have to look into the whole aspect. It's not only just one. For example, if we want to solve the problems about engineering, we cannot just look about the engineering itself. We also have to look into the cost and also the benefit that people will get from it. And I think it is a lot of aspect that we have to look into. So, and I think that is the thing that we don't really get to learn in class, since if we learn engineering in class, we only learn about the theory, and probably and maybe most likely we don't really think about how does the cost really affect on the design or maybe the system that we are going to implement. I think that's all.
Good.
Thank you.
Any other thing?
Yeah. Thank you, Kinski.
More specific, maybe. I remember once we went together with all of you to visit the Tofu factory, and I understand some of you maybe didn't know how to make tofu before, and that is where you learn how to make tofu. But I would like also to ask you if someone learned something new from the community, more specific knowledge.
Ya, siapa yang mau menjawab pertanyaan Pak Krishna itu? Jadi hal baru apa gitu ya yang kalian dapatkan, yang kalian pelajari dari masyarakat setempat gitu dengan mengikuti KKN ini? Siapa yang mau menjawab? Ayo, selain Kinski tadi, ada yang mau menambahkan, yang mau menjawab?
Can I try it?
Yes.
Ya, silakan. Please apa?
It's me again, Octavia. So, one thing that I learned from the community is the way they think. It's quite different with us. We as students, we spend almost our time to discuss with academic people in such manner that we understand it. We can elaborate a hard subject or a great idea or abstract idea, but then is it necessary for the people in the community to know about it, or they just need the simplest way for their problems, a more tactical or technical solving. So actually, this is a great experience for us to learn that it is not necessarily for us to force that or to show that we have such a great knowledge and here some for you. But I think it is more like we have to come to them. They are not the problem, and they are not the subject that we think the problem is they are the one that causing the problem. So we need to find a good way in a full respect to their religion or culture, and be humble, trying to adapt with the way they know how to solve the problem and improve it in the future. I think that's what I learned. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Octav. Great. It's very interesting, actually, to see that we learn from our interaction with the community, and that is our experience or new knowledge gain with this interactions, which will be useful in our future life, in our future profession, in particular as engineer or as scientist. Yeah. One last, this is not a question, Bu Intan. This is a suggestion, maybe, because I think this is the first time, maybe in Indonesia also, or in the whole world, maybe the first time that we implement a KKN program, community outreach working with the community through virtual means, online. So
in the online basis,
I think this need to be documented. The process need to be documented, and if we can work together, Bu Intan, some of us, to put some kind of guideline based on this experience, guidelines how to conduct or implement KKN, as community outreach, in a virtual way. So this will be useful for many other universities in Indonesia or maybe in other countries also. And I think we learn a lot from this experience. This is my 5-cent thought for this experience, Bu Intan.
Yeah. Thank you for your suggestion, Pak Krishna. So I think if I'm not wrong, actually I received information about webinar, about the online seminar, that if we want to submit a paper, about this kind of online student community service, and then actually they are looking for that kind of paper. So I think there is already such kind of seminar who wants to know about how we conduct this kind of online student community service. So maybe we can participate in that seminar, or if we already missed that opportunity, and then we can just make any documentation and then submit it in the another form. But I think that one is the nice suggestion, because this is the first time, Georgia, UGM already conducted a student community service since 1971, and this is the first time. This period which done by our student, this is the first time UGM conducted full online student community service. So actually that was quite challenging for us, but we just think the show must go on. So we just do it, yeah. And this is the result. But of course, I have to say, so since in the beginning I mentioned to the, hello Toby, good morning.
Hello.
Toby. No, you are here, Toby.
I've been here.
Yes, finally you are here. Okay.
No, I've been here all the time.
Oh really? Okay. I just
Yes, yeah, no,
because
no.
you use
I had
the
an issue. I had an issue.
unknown.
I
Toby,
had an
your
issue.
username is unknown. That one is not Toby. Okay. Yeah, sorry. So I will continue first. So actually, since in the beginning, we had a lot of discussion by doing this student community service in the online basis, how we can give and how we can measure the outcomes. But we already agree, I mean, in our internal organization in the UGM, that our targets are only to produce output as many as possible, and then we don't really think about outcome at this point of time. At least we can produce output as many as we can, because of this pandemic condition, because of this situation. But of course, we hope that in the future, once the situation gets back to normal, and then we can go back to the same place, and then we can evaluate our former programs, whether that one already really reached the community or not, and that one really give the benefits to the community or not. Yeah, so I have to say that this online student community service, of course, has some limitation. Yeah. Toby, maybe you want to ask question?
Hello. Yes, I was going to ask a question. And great presentations, great projects. I was going to ask about how you sort of measure the legacy, how you measure the success of the projects in the long term. So you set these projects up, give the communities some benefits, and then how do you know and find out exactly what the success rate is and how the communities use these projects, in the short, medium, and longer term to benefit themselves?
Ya, jadi pertanyaannya tadi seperti sebenarnya yang sudah saya bahas ya. Bagaimana kalian itu bisa mengukur bahwa yang kalian lakukan, program kalian itu sukses gitu ya, memberikan manfaat bagi warga dan juga dalam jangka panjang gitu ya, dalam long term. Itu benar-betul sustain gitu ya, berlanjutannya dari program kalian, manfaatnya itu bisa terus berlanjut gitu ya dalam jangka panjang. Bagaimana kalian bisa mengukur kesuksesan dari program kalian? Ya apa adanya saja ya, memang sesuai dengan apa yang kalian pikirkan gitu. Ada yang mau menjawab, Kinski?
I would like to answer that.
Okay, Kinski first.
Okay.
How do I know that my program is success? Is the involvement of the community on the WhatsApp group. I mean, when I do like some sort of counseling in management and also in accounting, they really are asking a lot of questions and also like really wanting to learn how to do the right accounting. And also, how do I know that this program is really sustainable is when the period is already over, they are still talking to me about how is it correct to do it this way or is it correct to do it that way. And also I also did like a side program making some sort of like a video promotion for those small micro business. And how do I know that it is sustainable for them is when the program, when the period is over, they are still posting the video design that I made as a part of their promotion. I think
Thank
that's
you. Great answer.
Okay, thank you, Kinski. Okay, Dimas, you can continue.
I would like to answer, sir. Sorry, my name is Dimas Faisal, and there's two things that I would like to answer. The first of all is how do we know the impact, the sustainability? Well, first of all, the short term is we ask the feedback after the period ended to the people, to the local community. And they are sending us a good feedback, positive feedback that they are satisfied to our output. And the second one, well, this is not has not been implemented by now because of the corona pandemic. But I would like to propose some measurement, some sustainability measurement using what I learned KPI or key performance indicator that I would like to discuss to the next period of student service community, because I think this project will be continued to the next period of KKN or and I would like to give them some key performance indicator, some measurement that is the key performance indicator. So we know how sustain our program is by using our number, which is the KPI measurement. That is my answer.
Oh, thanks very much. That was excellent to know that you are looking at the legacy. I should have added that my name's Toby Mottram. I'm from Warwick, and I could be the only English person on the meeting today. And I can understand everything everybody's saying. Your English is great. Excellent.
That's
well
great.
done.
Thank you, Toby.
You still have more questions, Toby? Please feel free to
Not
ask
at the
questions.
moment. No, I can't think at the moment, but that was my main one. Others have asked the questions that I might have asked as well. So yeah, I'm very, very impressed. Great projects.
Yeah.
Thank you, Toby.
May I add something? Winter?
Yeah, please, Pak Indra.
Yeah. Hi, Toby. How are you?
Hello, I'm fine, thank you.
Toby, I would like to add something. To give response about your question. Well, actually, the way we are doing community service is kind of continuous program. It is not only the first one. Yeah, I think you can imagine. What they are doing. The student doing here is something beyond our imagination. This is the first experience for us to do this virtually. What they reach far is beyond our imagination. We haven't thought about what they are going to get. At the end of the program at that time, actually. But we are still expecting actually next year we are going to have similar activity, but hopefully there will be not virtual, but they will be offline activity. Yeah. We are expecting that there will be many also students. If we do it like this way, jointly with ITB-UB, and I believe that there will be many students, and hopefully students from UK will also join with us. Yeah. So we can really measure. Yeah, we can really measure the impact to the community. I think that's the way we are doing this kind of community service, Toby. We do it several times. So until the community, the program that we design really sustain in the community. That's the way we are doing.
It's excellent.
Hopefully in the next year.
We do hope so.
Yeah. Thanks, Winter. And I would like to ask question actually for the students. I know that you are coming from different fields, right? From engineering, not only from engineering, but different fields. I would like to ask you, what is the difficulty working with people from different fields? I believe that you face difficulty, right? I think I believe that also Georgia would like to know also, because Georgia is from engineering also. Please, if you have something to give to respond this question. This is very important question actually.
Thank you for your question, Pak Indra. Jadi siapa yang mau mulai volunteer untuk menjawab? Kalian kan dari 4 klaster yang berbeda ya. Jadi ada yang science tech, kemudian ada yang dari sospol gitu ya, humaniora, agro gitu. Nah, kalian kan bekerja dengan teman-teman yang dari latar belakang yang berbeda-beda gitu. Jadi mungkin kalian ada yang punya pengalaman yang dirasakan seperti apa gitu ya. Jadi bekerja dalam satu tim yang background-nya itu berbeda-beda. Gitu. Siapa yang mau menjawab duluan? Ada yang mau? Siapa? Oh yeah, Shafa. Okay, yeah, Shafa, please.
Introduce myself. My name is Shafa. I take some of the programs such as in science tech and also sospol. So my experience to communicate with the local people is I've blocked by some local villagers. That's why I cannot to ask again. So this is the important that I have to look for the other local villages so that I can looking for the other information. And then that's the what's it? The heart of these communications with the local villagers. And then the other the teamwork is yeah, because it is in the pandemic era, so this is the heart of the communication skills. That the problem is about the connections. If we will meet with other in the platform Zoom for the examples, so this is very hard because if we said that we will to argument something and to discuss something, sometimes it's something the disruptions about the lost connections for the example. So that's my experience. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Safa. Thank you, Safa. So maybe another student want to give the answer also to Pak Indra.
Maybe
Reza, yeah. Reza Yustika, please.
Yes. I think when I communicate with my friends from different backgrounds, I can realize that there are many things that we need to consider and pay attention to. One example is language. Maybe while in class or in lectures, we often use technical terms or terms that we obtain from foreign reference that may only people from our backgrounds that know that. Then when we want to communicate that terms to our friends from different backgrounds, we have to translate it in a simpler and more common ways to say. I think that for me, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Reza. So what is your background? You can explain.
I'm from engineering.
Mechanical engineering.
Chemical engineering.
Oh, chemical, yeah. So Reza background is chemical engineering. Anyone else maybe want to?
Maybe I would like to.
Yeah, Dimas. Yeah, please, Dimas.
So once again, my background major was actually nuclear engineering. Well, this is not very related to kind of environmental issues, but because I'm engineering, in my study, we also learn in every aspect in engineering, such as instrumentation, programming, and also the environmental impact. But I think
Hello, Dimas. Yeah, I think maybe the internet connection at Dimas' place. So currently he disappeared. Okay. Yeah, okay. While waiting for Dimas to come back, maybe another student want to add on the answer?
Bu Intan?
Yeah, Arif, please.
My name is Arif, and I would like to try to answer Pak Indra's question. So, aside from the technical terms that Reza went over, there is also another difficulty. First, let me explain my background. My background is telecommunication engineering, so I'm also from the engineering field. One of the differences in the way of thinking is I think engineers like to go a lot into details, and I think that creates kind of a gap when we talk to people from other fields where they see things more in a eagle eye view, while we really go down and go over each and every detail. So this manifests a problem in which where we try to maybe plan a project, and the engineering people want like every step to be this, and this, while the other people might have a bigger view where they consider the social aspect, the economic aspect, and the other aspects. And I think that's it. It was a problem at first, but then I realized that it's really a blessing in disguise, because now we can consider the other aspects from like the people from other fields, and then the engineering people can translate those analysis into concise engineering steps. I think that's my opinion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Arif.
Amazing.
You still have more question, Pak Indra? Do you still have more question?
No, enough. It's amazing.
Enough. Okay. Okay, so maybe anyone else want to ask question to the student? Maybe Pak Abdo. Pak Abdo, do you want to ask question?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to ask the question, but I would like to congratulate to all the students, yeah, and also Ibu Intan, of course, Pak Indra for coordinating this fantastic event, yeah, in our pandemic situation. So I would like to congratulate to all the students, not only the one who is presenting here, but also the members, yeah, of the teams. Also, I would like to thank to Georgia and also Toby for coming. I think we would like to do it again. Yeah, next year we'll be in ITB, yeah, Pak Indra, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Next year is ITB.
Actually, yeah, Pak Krishna already arranged, yeah, starting arranging the program right now. So we look forward to inviting all of the students from the UGM-UB, also from UK, from Vietnam, and also Bangladesh. Yeah, hopefully online, not online, but in person. So
normal.
We will get a better experience. Yeah, I think this is another experience, but I think the best experience we get, I think, when we interact with the person, yeah, in the field directly, I think. Okay, so thank you very much, yeah.
Thank you very much, Pak Abdo. Yes, so this year UGM is the host for this collaborative student community service, and then next year is the turn for ITB. Yeah, of course, we hope that for next year, hopefully, it will not be online. Yeah, but we can conduct the normal student community service where the students can go directly to the village, and maybe Georgia, the student from Borik, hopefully can join the program. Yeah, organized by ITB by next year, hopefully.
Yes, hopefully, and ourselves, we would be really, really happy to attend and see how you're running these programs and participate and get to know all the students who are taking part. So yes, that's in our plan, and hopefully the situation will allow us to participate.
Yeah, hopefully. Thank you. Is there someone else who want to ask question, or maybe will give a suggestion? Bunia, are you there?
Bu Intan.
Oh, Pak Adi. Okay, Pak Adi. Good afternoon, Pak Adi. Yeah, please.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. Yes, I can hear you. But I think your voice is...
Okay. First of all, I appreciate to all the students working during for the community service. Yeah. Hello.
Hello, Pak Adi. Actually, it is not that clear. Hello. Yeah, but please continue.
First of all, I say appreciate to all of the students for the. Okay, yeah, it's okay. I just want to say that I appreciate for the students working to support the enhanced project as well for the in the community services. But we have to also consider that. But I saw in the presentation there are some students visited in the area. But I just want to know about how many times the students have visited to the locations and how they keep social distancing during the pandemic. I think that's my short question. Thank you.
Oke, thank you for your question, Pak Adi. Jadi Pak Adi pengen tahu ya, ini kan sebenarnya kan KKN-nya kan online, tapi kan sebenarnya ada di antara kalian itu yang sempat datang langsung gitu ya, seperti misalnya yang tim pyrolysis gitu, yang sempat memang datang ke lokasi. Jadi pertanyaannya itu berapa kali kalian itu datang ke lokasi dan bagaimana praktek safety protokolnya gitu ya. Jadi safety protokolnya yang terkait COVID itu kan harus ada social distancing. Jadi apa yang kalian lakukan pada waktu itu? Jadi implementasi dari ya protokol kesehatan pada saat kalian mengunjungi desa itu. Ada yang mau menjelaskan? Mungkin contohnya yang tim pyrolysis tadi ya, yang memang ke sana, termasuk yang siapa yang mau menjelaskan? Arif?
Yeah, maybe I can answer.
Okay, Arif will answer the question, please.
Thank you, Bu Intan, and thank you, Pak Adi, for the question. So, yes, we went to Hargo Tirto. Myself, I did it twice. Once is before the pandemic, and once is during the KKN activity. So, to make sure that we followed the procedure, we made a guideline, a detailed guideline that outlines the things that we do hourly. So first, let me explain why we had to go to Hargo Tirto. So the pyrolysis machine that we made it in Bandung, and it's quite big, and well, you can't really get a courier to carry it all the way to Hargo Tirto. It would be very expensive. So we decided that it is essential for us to bring the pyrolysis machine to Hargo Tirto using our own vehicle. So in our planning, we broke down the plan hourly. So each hour we outlined where we are going to be and what precaution should we take. For example, when we are traveling from Bandung to Yogyakarta, it is almost an 8-hour journey. We outline where we're going to stop for eating and praying and going to the toilet along the way. So we know that we have to stop at kilometer 152 in the rest area, and we know where the toilet is located. So we know where to park, so we don't have to expose ourselves to the danger of COVID. That's that we had to go through to make sure that we're not endangering ourselves and also not endangering the people at the village. When we arrived at Hargo Tirto, the village health official interviewed us on the details of our journey to Hargo Tirto. They asked us where we slept, how we got there, and are there any health conditions that is indicative of COVID-19. And once we went through the interrogation, then we make sure that when we are there, we kept our distance, we wore our mask and face shield, and also we washed our hands a lot of times, especially when we're handling the machine and such. This is the types of precautions that we have to take to make sure that the COVID-19 does not become doesn't make a very high risk to us. Thank you.
Great. Okay, thank you, Arif, for your explanation. Do you still have more questions, Pak Adi? Hello, Pak Adi, can you hear me? Hello. Do you still have more questions, Pak Adi?
I'm still here. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for the question. I appreciate for your risky, but anyway, congratulations for all the students. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Oh,
Bu Intan?
Yeah, Bunia, you please, if you want to ask question.
Yeah, I did talk previously, but I forgot to switch on the microphone, so everyone couldn't hear me before Pak Adi give questions. So I would like to say thanks to everyone who are joining our meetings today. It's been a great work for us and great experience for the student and for us as well, that we are arranging this amazing work, especially in student community service. And hopefully next year that ITB conduct as the host, it will be more even great, wonderful, because at the moment, about 20 students from UB join this student community service, and hopefully next year, since we are doing great in this work, hopefully more than 20 students will join this student community service. So thanks to everyone, especially to UGM at the moment, who are arranging this student community service. And yes, thank you for Georgia and Toby for joining the meetings today. Thank you, Bintan.
Thank you, Bunya. So that's very excellent. So this year, 20 students from UB participate in the student community service conducted by UGM, and then next year, Pak Krishna and Pak Abduh, be ready. UB will deploy more than 20 students to participate in your student community service. Yeah, that's very great. Yeah. Is there any more who wants to ask question? Pak
Yes,
Denny,
Bu
you want
Intan.
to say something? Yes,
Yeah.
please, Pak Denny.
Hello, everyone. I just want to say hello for everyone. My name is Denny. I've been appointed as the Executive Secretary for the Community Services of the ITB Institute for Research and Community Services. This is a new thing for me, understanding the International Community Outreach Program. I think we are so grateful that we have a wonderful committee from the local park and the overseas park. Thank you very much, and for keeping and taking care of our students. And yeah, hopefully in the future, the program will be further developed and more internationalized, implemented for the activities that we are trying to reach. So that's all, and good luck for everyone, also for the students. Thank you, Bu Intan.
Okay, thank you, Pak Denny. So next year it will be organized by your institution, by ITB.
All right.
Yes, congratulations. Okay, so we are going to the end. So it's almost 5 o'clock, Western Indonesia time. So actually our schedule is up to 5 o'clock. Yeah. So before we end this session, we would like to have a photo session. So please, anyone can turn on your video, and then Dr. Rais will help to take the picture. Yeah, so for everybody, please kindly turn on your video, and then we will have the photo session. Mas Rais, udah siap?
Oh, sudah, Bu. Okay, everyone. I still see some people still don't turn on the camera. Please turn on your camera first.
Untuk semua mahasiswa, tolong videonya dinyalakan ya. Semua mahasiswa yang belum menyalakan videonya, tolong dinyalakan videonya. Jadi sekarang kita foto bersama. Mas Rais kasih aba-aba nanti ya.
Oke, Bu. Okay, still waiting. Some people still don't turn the camera. Okay, I think we will take the first picture. Okay, be ready, everyone. Okay, 1, 2, 3. First picture. Okay, I will send it first. Okay, again, one more picture. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, thank you everyone. I will record the picture.
Okay, thank you, Mas Rais. Okay, so we already reached the end of this session. So before we end this, maybe from Georgia, you want to say something?
I just want to thank everyone very much, starting with yourself, Intan. Thank you so much for putting together this fantastic event. Many thanks to all the presenters, all the people who have attended the session. It has been really excellent event. I found the content really impressive. Well done to your students and to every academic of the 3 universities who is supporting these programs. They are really making a difference to the communities. I'm really looking forward to next year. And I really hope that the circumstances will allow us to travel to Indonesia and thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very much, Georgia. Yeah, so thank you again to Georgia, Toby, Pak Abdo, Pak Krishna, Unia, Pak Adi.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, everybody.
And all of the students, all of the
Love to see you
presenters,
all.
everyone who attend this session. So thank you very much, for participating in this event, during the Erasmus days. And then we hope all of you enjoy, this meeting. And then we hope to see you all in the next opportunity. Okay, thank you, everybody.
Bye. Have a nice day.
We will send you the picture through email.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much.